Rick, did you have something?
It's not a requirement for us to get 3 bids and go to the public. It's not a requirement.
Yeah, but it's ethical.
Okay, I got.
It's common sense.
I'm gonna pick up some hands that I saw roughly in order of what I saw in the brown curve. Yes, sir.
Sort of in respect of everyone's time and given the dubious nature of voting twice, would it make sense to table Article 18 and 19 until that legal question is resolved to know whether a second vote would even matter?
Well, why don't we just vote on it?
The procedure is to postpone consideration until a time certain. So we would have to say a time that essentially continues this town meeting to that time. Let's say it's the 32nd of July. I know that ain't a real day. But let's say we say we'll reconvene at 6 o'clock on the 32nd of July. Then it's the same meeting. If we don't deal with this or table it and pick it up without saying when we're going to do it, you have to call a whole new town meeting with all the legal notification and all that stuff. So it's sticky. Vince,
Yeah.
briefly, please.
Well, if you vote no on the 2 articles, okay, and the study is done and it's determined that we should do our own hauling, then we'll have a special town meeting to meet all the requirements for the money and everything. We don't need to table it and then try to catch up, and I don't mean to be offensive. But, we should just do a study, and there is a bidding, it's not law on bidding, but it's strongly suggested that it goes to the legislative body with the bids. So it can be done in another, we've always had special town meetings for things, and it's not that, and there's no reason not to try and consider hauling our own trash. That's not the issue. The issue is, do we have enough information to do it?
Okay, in the interest of moving this along, we'd like to try 2 things. One is a non-binding show of hands.
And a consensus vote. Who would be favored to
This meeting's being botched by
take
this moderator.
Article 18 and 19, defeat them this evening and run them on the November referendum ballot? Would that be acceptable to you? Okay.
Absolutely.
People generally like that?
With that? We would do it November referendum. Please mark the calendar. Also for the informational meeting and.
I just have
Okay.
one question. Is
What?
it going to be exactly the same as 18 and 19 are written out that we're going to vote on, or are we going to change it again?
We don't, I can't answer that. The Article 19, I think we could consensusly say yes.
So why
That
not?
would be the same.
Okay.
But Article 18, I can't guarantee that. If we can't find a truck, what's the sense of spending $120,000 on a truck that's got 700,000 miles, and we're buying somebody else's headache?
No, I agree with you.
So.
I just want to know where we're
so, back to that, would the consensus be all right if that number changed from Article 18? Does it have to be 120? Is that the general consensus here? But we can, if we can have a new truck for 225.
Again, this is a non-binding question, it's not a vote.
I'm just trying to get a consensus. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, my feeling.
very, very briefly, Vin, I'd like to move along.
My feeling is, if we take another vote, I think it should go to a public hearing, a public vote town meeting, special town meeting like we have here, so we can discuss it, rather than on a referendum like we did yesterday. And there was a lot of, mix-up about it, people didn't understand certain things. So I think if we do anything, it should go to a special town meeting. And at that special town meeting, if other things come up during the course of the year, we can add that to the special town meeting that has to be done.
Okay, thanks, Vin.
I want to put out there, it's the November referendum. I may be using the wrong verbiage, but November referendum is a yearly thing, And we can have an open special town meeting. It is our choice. It doesn't have to be ballot. So we can do an open town meeting. It's not, that's not a big deal. What I was saying is, by utilizing the November timeframe, we're saving money from holding a special town meeting and paying the ballot clerks and everybody for the extra time to do it. So November gives us that opportunity. Two birds with one stone, folks. It's a local election.
Okay, everybody that I see with their hand up has already spoken. I'm gonna ask you to be real brief, like 25 words or less. Yes, in the pink.
Do we own any of the containers that are there?
Yes.
Okay.
We ordered the containers. This is one of the things that we had to make a decision on as a select board. The containers, the compactors have a rental fee, $150 a month, and we had an open top that was at $150 a month. So we bought those out of utilizing the transfer station reserve account. So by doing that, we own all the containers.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, if we were to continue with Conway Incinerator, we may never see them again. They're gonna go through a rotation. CIA says the same thing. They'll bring them right back, but there's no guarantee. So that's why if we have our own truck, we own our own containers, we don't have that additional fees.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, please, real brief.
One of the key things, I'm putting a referendum, okay, and don't move it out. But one of the things you have to understand, the 120, and you take the 57 they already voted for trucking, it brings the truck down to very minimal amount of payment. You can do it in 3 years if you wanted to, and get it done over with and paid for. That's just another thought.
Okay, sir, real brief, please.
Didn't we address this issue entirely in Article 11 already?
No, that's transfer station operations. That's not buying trucks and stuff. Yes.
Thanks for coming, Dave.
This article was in this book, and anyone could come tonight and vote accordingly. Those of us that came thinking that we were going to be voting on Article 18 should have a chance to vote on it. I personally was against buying a truck. However, I do know the prices of vehicles, and that's not a bad price for what we're getting. So I think that people should consider
Why did they put
voting
that in
on
there
it.
twice?
Either up or down, let's put it at that.
Okay, is there anybody here who doesn't know how they're going to vote on Article 18?
I have 125.
Very brief.
Very brief. I thought we all came out last night to vote on this, Article 1. There's gonna be a lot of upset taxpayers if they find out that this gets researched back. That's why it will go out. We might need it. We need a lot of things. I need a lot of things. But right at the moment, I think the people spoke last night saying, don't truck right now. Whether you put the cart before the horse or you want the containers, now you don't have to think, now you gotta hire a truck driver to CDL for 70.
Okay, we got it. Thank you. This gentleman, real brief.
So everybody, I think that, the trucking is very confusing for all of us, okay? I think Rick, though, is doing the right thing by pushing this in November. Let's look at further numbers before we have to look, like, we shouldn't have to vote tonight. It was voted last night, it really makes no sense at all.
Okay, very.
Rick they're all doing a very good job of trying to put these numbers, but it was rushed, as he said, therefore we don't have the full cost of fuel, insurance, all this stuff. We need that before we actually make a vote. It was voted down last night, I think that's only fair to the whole public. Like, you can't even fit 300 people in here. They voted last night.
Okay, very good. Point well made. Okay, are we ready to vote on Article 18?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor of Article 18, see if the town vote to authorize the purchase of a roll-off truck by usual utility.
Folks,
So move.
he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Point of order.
You have to defeat Articles 18 and 19. I just asked for a consensus if the taxpayers would be upset if we did a ballot or special meeting in November. And you all consensus was, yeah, let's get the information and do it in November.
Okay, Ricky, please sit down. Please sit down.
In the meeting.
The deputy's gonna be real busy pretty soon if things don't quiet down. I'd like to send him home real bored. I don't want any excitement. Now, you can vote on these articles any way you want. Article 18, to see if the town will authorize the purchase of a roll-off truck by utilizing the transfer station reserve funds up to $120,000. All those in favor? Those opposed? The article fails. Thank you. Well done. Article 19, to see if the town will vote to